The water cycle is a fascinating and continuous process that moves water all around the Earth. Imagine it as a giant loop that never ends, making sure we always have water in different forms like rivers, lakes, oceans, and even the air. It all begins with the sun, which is like a big, warm engine that powers the cycle. When the sun shines on water in places like rivers, lakes, and oceans, it heats the water up. This heat gives the water molecules energy, causing them to move faster and eventually change from liquid water into an invisible gas called water vapor. This process is called evaporation. You can think of it as the water magically disappearing into the air. Once the water vapor is in the air, it rises up high into the sky where it's much cooler. When the water vapor cools down, it starts to change back into tiny droplets of water. This transformation from gas to liquid is known as condensation. These tiny droplets group together to form clouds. Sometimes, if it's really cold, the water vapor can change directly into ice crystals, forming snow or hail clouds. As more and more water vapor condenses, the clouds grow bigger and heavier. Eventually, the droplets or ice crystals become too heavy to stay up in the sky. This leads to precipitation, which is when the water falls back to Earth in the form of rain, snow, sleet, or hail, depending on the temperature. When the precipitation reaches the ground, it has several possible paths to follow. Some of it might fall directly into rivers, lakes, or oceans. Some of it soaks into the ground, becoming groundwater that plants and animals use to drink. Groundwater can also move through the soil to feed into rivers and lakes, keeping them full of water. This water might stay in one place for a while, like in a lake, or it might quickly start the cycle again by evaporating back into the air when the sun shines on it. Even the water that soaks into the ground can be pulled up by plant roots and later released into the air from the leaves in a process called transpiration, which is a bit like evaporation but from plants. So, the water cycle is like a never-ending journey that water takes from the Earth to the sky and back again. It helps keep our planet full of the water that all living things need to survive. Without this amazing cycle, we wouldn't have the rivers, lakes, oceans, and rain that are so important to life on Earth.